Hey guys, today's story is about a DM that made a group out of a bunch of their friends. I post this, fully aware that I might be the jerk in this situation, but here we go. So, my boyfriend wanted me to run a 5e game for him. A restart of an old campaign that he was in, at the start of, to be specific. So, I called in a friend who was interested in the setting and hadn't gotten to play it the first time around. And my boyfriend called up two of his friends. I'll refer to those friends by their character names, Anu and Olga. And this campaign was played over Discord. Anu was a devout cleric of the goddess that got the campaign started. I allowed this because I figured it would be fine. Anu quickly became extremely obnoxious, referring to everyone who didn't worship the same god as him as heretics, and just generally derailing nearly every scene he was there for. And when the party met Servery, who was the god of mercantile, in his interdimensional pawnshop, Anu adamantly refused to believe the man was a god, and constantly insulted him to his face, even after Servery killed Anu, and then brought him back using a scroll that, I acknowledged at the time, shouldn't work in the setting. Admittedly, part of the issue with Anu was my own fault, as I had written a campaign about the party being a group of chosen heroes, and thus, I couldn't just kill him off. Olga, on the other hand, was a dwarf barbarian who brewed alcohol, and that's all I know about Olga as a character, as she pretty much refused to roleplay at all outside of giving people beer, and often wasn't even paying attention during any given scene outside of combat, which tended to be a little sparse in my campaigns. They both knew what sort of campaign it was going to be in. Anu's constant scene derailing, and Olga's seeming refusal to pay any attention and play the game, ended up burning me out really bad on D&D, which isn't really the best suited system to my rather improvised GM style. Plus, I'm not really cut out for serialized storytelling like a hero's journey campaign requires. So, with some courage borrowed from my boyfriend, I told everyone this, and requested that we try an episodic campaign in the system that I put together, since the friend I had called in already knew this system, and it was designed to not be too complicated, and to be friendly with improvised GMing. Olga was all for giving it a try, so the next session was to be a proper session 0 for that. Come the next session, and Olga noted that she was confused about some aspects of the system, but couldn't provide any examples of what she actually needed help with, thus making it impossible for me to properly help her. And then, Anu joined the call, stating his own confusion, but instead of telling me what he was confused by, he spent the next 10 minutes discouraging me from even trying to teach Olga the system, stating that she can't play anything more complex than your human finder. Now, I should note, my system doesn't have any classes that you can dedicate your entire character to. And then, Anu told me about the 3 archetypes that he always played, claiming he can't play characters outside of them at all. The first was characters like Anu, who hyper-focused on one aspect of themselves, or the setting to the point of madness and scene disruption. The second were characters that were more mundane, and used what powers they had solely for themselves, instead of helping the party out, which I vetoed since I didn't want useless party members hanging around. And then the third type was complete chaos, characters with no real concept, backstory, or goals, who end up just doing things without any reason, which would derail even worse than Anu already had. And since Anu and Olga were a couple, I couldn't kick one out without also kicking the other. So, I decided to disband the group as a more graceful solution than kicking out half of my players. Well guys, I'm gonna go off on a limb and say that the OP here is NTA. I don't really know how Olga was as a person, or how she felt about Anu, but according to the OP in the comments, Anu effectively called her an idiot, while she was right there at the same table. So, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he probably could have kicked Anu, and Olga might have been reasonable enough to stay around. But, who knows. Overall, it just kinda sounds like a crappy situation, and just kinda sucks all around. But in any case, that's the end of the story. Hope you enjoyed, and hope you have a good one.